the September 21st episode of This Week in Esports, episode number 16.
It's already September 21st. Goodness gracious.
It's true. Hello, Rukari. How are you doing?
Tired, clearly. I've lost time. I've lost track of tons of time, but whatever.
Things
It's all
happen.
right. How are you?
Well, I'm just a delight. I'm wearing black, though, because it's dark outside.
That's great. No.
Wonderful. At any rate, we're coming to you live from the Microsoft campus here in Redmond, Washington, and showcasing, of course, Mixer Magic, which is all about faster than light and interconnectivity.
FTL is a unique protocol for streaming at sub-second latency and interactivity, where viewers don't just watch, they actively participate in what's happening on screen.
And now you are viewers.
Get to choose, basically.
Pretty
you run
much.
the show. You run the show. You're the bosses
You are.
of us.
It's true.
It's very much true. Nowadays, there's a lot to cover in the esports scene, and since this show is for you, like we just said, you get to decide what we talk about via the voting options you'll see soon below the video window.
This show is great because we are one of those places where if you need to learn about CSGO, if you want to learn about Dota, if you want to hear more about anything to do with the fighting game community, guess what? We got half an hour.
I like how you seeded CSGO already because you want them to vote for that so you can do that section.
They're voting correctly if they vote CSGO, but I will tell you they only have 30 minutes every week, so make sure you make your vote count if you want to hear your favorite esports discussed.
Before we get into the games that we have for you this week, we normally start the show with a special segment, and this time around, we're doing Clip of the Week. This week's clip is actually part of a larger announcement that we get to make on the show. Millennial Esports, one of the tournament organizers attached to Halo 5 Guardians and their esports programs, will soon debut the first episode of their new reality series, Beyond the Sticks, right here on Mixer Channel 1.
It is true. Woohoo! Now, this behind-the-scenes series took a look at two of the top Halo Pro teams, of course, Team Envious and Team Naventic?
No, Naventic? Naventic. It's
Sorry,
spelled out
guys.
that way so you can get it phonetically, right?
Naventic. You know what? I know things, but this is not one of them. As they traveled to Las Vegas to partake in boot camp lands ahead of the previous HCS event, DreamHack Atlanta. Now, we have a quick trailer to show off, so let's jump right into it. Here, now, Clip of the Week.
Some of my closest friends are all from gaming, and those friendships are built over just playing together, hanging out at LANs in between series, after series, playing, scrimming.
The opportunities that you have when you're not playing to be able to still talk about gaming or just share that experience, and people think that it's not a social thing, but gaming is very, very social, and LANs are a huge part of that.
Thanks to Millennial Esports for letting Mixer exclusively debut this series on our platform. Given the success of other content like Gears Esports Offseason, which you saw Kate on, we're excited to see how these players get along outside of the game.
It's true. Esports IRL. Now be sure to tune in next week. That would be Wednesday, September 27th at 5 p.m. Pacific on mixer.com/channel1. And if you show up early, no worries. We'll be showcasing Halo 5 streamer Green Skull starting at 4 p.m. on that very same channel. Also showcasing Halo 5 streamer Covent after the episode at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard.
Big shout out to Green Skull, who just started to be able to grow a beard. Just want to throw that out there. For more information, simply look below the video window on our channel description to learn more, and see you next week.
#BeardLife.
Hey, I'm not playing. It's been a long road for both of us. We were both struggling for the longest time.
Boy, do I know that feeling.
I know, right? You had me beat
true.
for a while.
Anyway,
we've upgraded our interactivity options here on the show, and we're going to turn on live voting from time to time in today's episode. Right now, you'll see 4 choices to choose from that selects the next segment. Again, you control what's going on. These choices are below the video window in the interactive section. Just click on the one you want to hear us discuss. Your choices are...
Click on it.
Counter-Strike, Overwatch, Injustice 2, and Halo. And I heard her click already, so I'm gonna go counter-click real quick.
Yeah, thank you for that. Well, I will say that from the moment you see the screen, you will also see the countdown clock there, which I'm pretty sure is not. Yep, there it is. That says 30 seconds to vote. So make sure you get your vote within that 30 seconds.
We've got about
pretty simple concept, I would say.
15 seconds left here, and it looks like Halo is in the lead.
It's almost like
big time.
What did you vote for?
Excuse me. My vote is my right to know just myself.
He voted for Street. He voted for Street Fighter. He voted for Street Fighter. How much you want to bet?
No, I didn't. Did
you vote for Halo?
No, I voted for Killer Instinct. All right, here we go. 10 more seconds left on this clock. Oh, it's running down. Oh, yeah, well, you know. What's with the timer? I don't know.
Okay, so apparently we're going to call it Halo.
There we go. We're going to
That's
jump
how
right
we
into
do.
it.
So let's, you want to jump in first there?
I can do this one.
Halo?
I can do this one. So as most of you know, last weekend played host to the latest Halo 5 esports event, HCS London, presented by Gfinity over in London. You wouldn't know HCS London is in London. Instead of us doing a play-by-play of the series scores from the weekend, we edited a quick video that highlights that main story points that you need to hear about in our segment Recaps and Replays. Look at that, more videos where we get to relax.
It's true.
It's like we're doing tips and tricks.
Roll that tape. Wow, how cool was that?
That's
Thank
pretty
you so
solid.
much to our Gfinity friends over there in jolly old Fulham, London, for their fabulous footage.
So we have somebody in chat, I think it was Smurf69, that said they were at HCS London.
Hey,
We had a
Smurf!
question that we were talking about in here
Yeah.
because we saw somebody in a sweatshirt.
How cold is it?
Is it cold in there?
Wanna
Not
know.
necessarily in London as a whole, but
Which
in that
it is,
arena.
by the way. I mean,
yeah, it's cold, yeah.
But in that arena, I would assume that it'd be pretty impressive.
so
pretty
let us know,
impressive,
and then
yeah.
we're going to jump into our next voting options, which are actually right down here on the screen
Coming
already.
on your screen.
Kate, did you vote yet?
I haven't gotten it yet. It just got up. Now it is.
Oh,
Oh.
I thought you rolled in the best of circles. Anyway, your choices are Counter-Strike, Street Fighter V, Rocket League, and Overwatch. You've got about 20 seconds to get those votes in, so make
You
sure
know
you
what?
do so now.
Joke's on all of you because I like all of these. So I think
All right, let's see,
Counter-Strike
let's see.
needs to do it.
Oh, you think so?
I think people want
I'll vote for
to
Counter-Strike.
hear- Yay! My computer's decided to.
Oh, it's okay. 5 seconds left. Let's see what we've got here. Let's see what we've got.
Well, okay, it is in the news today, so let's go ahead and talk contenders.
That's all you. I'll let you do it.
Let's try this. Here we go. You guys went for Overwatch, a little-known franchise from a little-known mom
I
and
think
pop
I've heard of it before.
Blizzard, I think they're called. Back at it again at Route 66, and this time for more Overwatch contenders news. Week 4 of the ongoing tournament wrapped up over the weekend, so let's break it down and deliver you those results. So, stateside, teams Envious, FaZe Clan, Envision, and FNR oh my gosh.
Yeah, you did this one last
FNRG.
week.
This is
FNRG.
this is an interesting story, which, if you're keeping track at home, stands for Fnatic, NRG, and Gale Force Esports. Once again, found victory in their matches, following up the wins from all 4 teams in Week 3. Now, for teams Envious and Envision, these results add to their now 4-week win streak, with both teams having gone undefeated in the tournament so far. Now, across the team pond.
Those words look exactly alike.
So, a Thursday. So across the pond, Team Singularity Misfits and Team Gigant. Oh my gosh, this is a weird moment. So
Giganti.
I'm gonna say right now that actually I am going to tell you a little bit about some other part of CLG. This is an older story.
It is, huh? This one we did last week.
We did last week, but that's okay because things happen. And so there are other things that I can tell you about, though, when it comes to when it comes to Overwatch. Well, I will. We actually just got our last Overwatch League, World League team that came on to it, and that would be for Dallas and Philadelphia and Houston. So we already knew about, I think we already knew about Philadelphia, so that's the Comcast guys. We knew about Dallas.
The NHL one, right?
Yeah, that would be the Philadelphia team.
Gotcha.
But I will say also, now we have Houston here, and Houston, rad, because that guy, the person, I can't remember his name, but he is actually one of the owners of the Rangers. Just saying, MLB getting in on some esports goodness. And so we've got now, if you're going to keep track at home, we've got Dallas, we've got Houston, we have Philadelphia, we've got New York, we've got Boston. Yeah, East Coast is being well represented. Also, we've got San Francisco, we've got Chicago, and we've got, I think it's LA, where everybody's going to be actually playing. And then, of course, Miami/Orlando. I think that's what those are. Also, I should mention that league is slated to begin December 6th with preseason going live on January 10th. Make sure to visit Blizzard on their websites and social chains for all of those.
It's so fun when our prompter goes down.
Check out OverwatchLeague.com for even more Overwatch news, and that is what we call tap dancing.
That was great. No, that was wonderful.
But more importantly, let's talk about what you want to hear about, and that means Overwatch League. All right, I already read that. Let's see what you guys are going to vote for next. It's a Thursday, everyone, and it's live.
Today's a funky day.
Oh, look at that. There's 100% Counter-Strike. Oh, so close.
There we go. The other votes are popping in.
Other votes are popping in. Hey, listen,
votes.
League of Legends is great right now, too. Okay, we're in the lead up to Worlds right now.
I will vote for League then.
We've got League of Legends. Listen, Worlds, they've just put out last week they put out groups. There is a group of death, hint, hint.
I feel like you're giving away spoilers for what we're going to talk about in a couple of seconds.
First of all, there's always a group of death.
Like, League
in
is
fact,
coming.
actually,
Come on,
a spoiler
League.
would be if there wasn't a group of death.
Oh, that's a good
That
point.
would be a spoiler. But that's what that's about. Here we go. Oh, time's out.
Oh my goodness! And this
Hey, the Counter-Strike.
Does that mean you get to choose? Let's go with Rocket League. Can we go with Rocket League? No, it's already up there. Dang.
Okay,
All right, go ahead.
let me tell
take
you
it.
a little bit about my baby. Okay, E-League, now one of esports' premier tournament organizers, is midway through their Counter-Strike Global Offensive tournament. Now, the tournament has drawn all of the top CSGO teams to Hotlanta, Georgia, where they're competing in a single elimination tournament for a $1 million prize pool. Yeah, you heard me, $1 million hairs. Also mentioned they are calling this, instead of Season 3, they're calling it this premiere. How about them apples? Earlier this month, FaZe Clan and G2 Esports emerged as overwhelming victors from Group A. And if we talk about Esl One New York, we'll hear a little bit more about that. Moving them into the quarterfinal. Now, just this last weekend, which, by the way, if you're going to be Group A, you're going to make it to the quarterfinal. That's nice because you didn't get to go to Mykonos, which means you weren't hanging out on the beach. I'm just saying, it's a nice consolation prize to make it into the quarterfinals. Just this last weekend, however, Group B, those are teams North, Fnatic, Immortals, and Mouse Sports all competed in Group B, and matches were even closer. North took top of Group B with an extremely close 16-14 win over Fnatic and a double overtime win against Immortals. Watch that double overtime. I have never seen a double overtime for CSGO, and it was impressive. It was just fun. I will also say North had some fun up in the Esl One Montreal with Immortals as well.
It's
There's
almost
a whole
like
bunch
you
of
really
things.
watched this more than
It's
anything
almost
else.
that.
Should have seen how excited she was this morning for this.
Fnatic only had the one loss to North, however, and squeaked out a 2-1 win over Mouse Sports and a 2-0 win against Immortals, which are dealing with some really fantastic. If anybody is looking at Twitter recently and to do with esports, you'll know that Immortals is having quite the week. Catch groups C and D throughout the rest of September to see some of the biggest names in esports face off, and those finals will be broadcast live on TBS on October 13th, in addition to live streaming online via eleague.com, YouTube, and Twitch every Friday night. They have at 10 p.m. Pacific. They have on TBS.
All right.
E-League.
You watch that every Friday, yeah?
I mean,
When you get
what
the
are you
chance.
doing on Fridays?
See this? Feet up. I guess I could have the other screen, watching as well.
Well, see,
All
and
right,
there
all
we
right.
have
I got to step my game up.
Now, speaking of stepping your game up,
I'm waiting to see where you're going to go with this.
roll that vote.
All right, your choices are now on screen for you to be able to go ahead and cast your vote. Heroes of the Storm, Street Fighter V, Rocket League, and League of Legends.
Heroes of the Storm, you say? What is
I mean,
the
you've
light?
got,
I know,
you
I'm
can
looking
go
at
vote over
stuff.
there. You can
I'm
go
looking at
vote.
stuff. By the way, not for nothing, but I believe there is a second Counter-Strike Global Offensive story. All about this last weekend.
I mean, you went through the script. Is there one? There should be
is.
one, right?
Yep.
There is. So it's not I believe, it's you know.
I believe it was in the world of things, there could be something, and
There is.
please vote for it again. I really want to talk about ESL One New York.
All right, here we go. That
Street
buzzer.
Fighter. It feels like a fighting game community needs to be partnered by you, my friend.
Let's do it. Let's jump into it. ESL One made their way to New York last weekend to bring us round 2 of the Brooklyn Beatdown, where 256 fighters were invited to battle for a piece of the $50,000 prize pool. Tournaments like these are always filled with amazing moments, comeback victories, clutch plays, and unbelievable combos, and this year was absolutely no different at all. One of the highlights was the rivalry between Tokido, which was hard to pronounce for Kate back in week 1.
It was, because I thought it was taquito, which I think are delicious. Especially
Taquito
when
of
on Friday
Echo
nights
Fox
watching A-League.
and Fudo. Taquito and Fudo met earlier in the tournament when they fought in the winners semifinals. Taquito crushed him 3-0 and then continued his reign through the winners finals, but Fudo, determined to make a comeback, made his way up through the losers bracket for a rematch in the grand finals against Taquito. Fudo, Taquito, we hear those names a lot, and it just continues.
Fudo, taquito. I'm just saying, how is it that Tokido? You can understand my confusion. Now, especially coming up against Fudo,
Not
give me
at
a
all.
break.
You mixed up two totally
They're both
banded team
delicious, is what
earlier.
I'm trying to say. Keep it
Fudo's
going.
vengeance was fierce, reading Taquito's moves with precision. The two traded wins until Game 5. That always makes it great when you get into the 5th match into the grand finals. But Fudo ended up winning, sending the tournament into a bracket reset. This may have lit a fire under Taquito, though, and in the games that followed, Fudo barely had the chance to breathe. Taquito won 3 straight games to become the victor of Brooklyn Beatdown Round 2. Taquito's first place earned him a whopping $20,000, but don't feel bad for Fudo, as second place spot still netted him a cool $8,000. Now here's something interesting. Last year's Brooklyn Beatdown winner, that is Xiao Hai, only took 48th place this year, and the second place winner, Momochi, took 5th. Just goes to show you that this tournament and the competition within it is ever evolving and improving. Gotta bring your A game every time around. You can't relax.
Can't rest on your laurels.
I mean, I can't wait to see what happens next year, right? Like,
who can?
if you can go from way up here to way, way down, I guess 48 isn't bad, but
I mean, it's better than I would do.
that's true.
But
there was
that's because
47
I
people.
enjoy taquitos.
That's another good point. All right. We're going to move on from Street Fighter V. Your voting options are now on screen.
Tell us what you want to hear about.
Oh, look, I see what it is already.
What? Oh, look, see, ESL One New York. I'm just saying this made big news last weekend.
Objection, leading the witness.
We did just talk about ESL One New York because, of course, ESL One New York, ESL One in general, that entire tournament there was dealing with a lot of different games.
All right,
15
seconds left to get
for
those
you,
votes
and I'll
in.
tell you something. There was some fabulous things happening there at the old ESL One NYC.
Is that so?
Based on my Twitter feed alone.
You're still leading the witness. You're just,
This is not a court of law. This is a safe
We're going to have
place.
to change our intro to be like, where you get to vote on what we want to talk about.
And you get to
we're going
vote,
to tell
and
you all
we
these
get
things
to do
about
it.
things that you should do.
Okay, thank you, Rukari, but I'll take it from here. Now, last weekend saw ESL One New York, which you just mentioned, a premiere, but not major for CSGO, but still pretty good. So this is an event pinning 8 of some of the world's best teams against each other, though it turned into a battle for second place as FaZe Clan brought the fire. So let's break things down, shall we? In Group A, you had Brazilian powerhouse and top of CSGO rankings, Team SK battling against NA's Cloud9, which I'm going to say, wah, wah. If you're a Cloud9 fan, you know what I mean. A Guardianless Na'Vi and a so-so Team Envious. In Group B was the former major winners Astralis, NA's Team Liquid, and the team formerly known as Virtus Pro, because they may be the elder statesmen of CSGO, but they're not playing like it. And of course, FaZe. In the playoffs, NA took on Brazil with Team Liquid versus SK Gaming, and while SK sits atop those HLTV rankings, Liquids took out the Giants 2-1. Now, FaZe and Cloud9 duked it out in the other half of the playoffs, but it was a quick victory for FaZe, taking Cloud out 2-0. This, of course, meant it was FaZe v Liquid in the grand final. Map after map, it became clear that no matter what Liquid did, FaZe's defense came to dominate. And in the rare moments, like the one game that FaZe allowed Liquid to get double digits, FaZe still came out on top with a clean 3-0 sweep, taking home the win, and and the cool $125,000 that came with it. Now, this year's been full of first and second places for FaZe, with the EU team winning their last 6 at-bats. And with the new roster full of old favorites like Guardian, Olaf Meister, in-game leader Kerrigan, and of course the absolutely smoking hot Nico, this team is currently the one to watch. Now, speaking of Nico, that lad found himself MVP and had the highest rating of the tournament at 1.7. My producer asked me to identify a couple highlights from the tournament, and here they are. One word: Nico. Now, Esl One New York is just a small part of the Intel Grand Slam Season 1. The first team to win 4 premier events organized by ESL and or DreamHack will be awarded $1 million doll hairs. That's just for winning those. Never mind the pot that you take home when you do. SK Gaming and G2 Esports each have a win so far, which means FaZe now joins that elite group of in hopes of winning that sweet, sweet reward. Next stop for these teams, no rest for the weary. FaZe actually squared off against Big Gaming for the Epicenter 2017 Europe qualifier this morning, handing them a quick 2-1 defeat, which is actually interesting because they haven't lost in 6 games, and they lost 1 map to a relatively unknown team. Anyway, defeat. It's on the next major event, the Intel Extreme Masters Oakland. IEM Oakland, as it's known, on November 18th and 19th. This is the West Coast's #1 CSGO event, so needless to say, the competition will be fierce. Teams still have a chance to qualify, so follow follow ESL CS on Twitter for updates.
I was just going to give you the biggest high five because I was like, that was the cleanest run ever. That's okay. We messed up that high five.
Okay.
That was a good run there, Kate.
Oh, thanks.
I was going to ask you, though, what does
Sure.
it mean for a team that's competing in esports to have 6 at-bats?
Oh, that's just the way I like to bring in a little bit of the sports jargon, as in 6 games. 6 times they had to ask
But you
the
have
bed, if you know
have
what I
multiple
mean.
at-bats per game. You know what? Whatever. So be it. So be it.
You can either hit it out of the park,
Otherwise,
you
glorious.
can't.
Glorious.
let's talk about it. Ooh, speaking of out of the park. Nope, makes no sense.
come on,
Segue
come on.
gone. Rocket League, Muffin Men. Let's talk about it. Or we have Injustice 2, of
we
course.
have 15
League of
seconds left.
Legends,
Let's see
Heroes
who
of the
wins.
Storm. Really, it's the battle of MOBA v. I guess, what are we calling this? Racing soccer, awesome game?
It's an online battle arena. It's OBA-ish. It's got to be an online battle arena, right? You're in an arena. You're battling.
That's
you're not
true. You don't change the map if that's what we're calling it. Food for thought here, folks. Oh, looks like Rocket League won. How about them apples?
Yeah, there we go.
Rukari, why don't you start us off?
So week 2 has begun for North America and Europe as the Rocket League Championship Series continues. 8 teams from each region competed this week in 3v3 matches of high-speed flying car soccer to get closer to that $55,000 first place prize. These matches take place online, but rest assured that these teams are taking it just as seriously as they would any tournament.
It's
in
true.
person, online, it is all the
LAN
same.
or whatever. Yeah,
Go
for
ahead,
North
please.
America, we saw teams Rogue Esports and NRG, 2 of the favorites, face off. Both teams were coming from a 2-1 record for the day, with Rogue having just won their set against FlyQuest and NRG having just been upset by Ghost. NRG showed their loss didn't phase them by kicking off Game 1 with a clean 6-0 sweep. The following games were a lot closer, but NRG still came out ahead 3-1 on the set.
On the European side, we have a tale of redemption between teams Method and Gale Force. Team Method lost 1-4 against Gale Force Esports in Game 1 and lost Game 2 by 1 point. Method put their heads together, gathered their cumulative grit, and proceeded to clutch out the next 3 sets in nail-biting last-point situations. Method chalks up a 4th set on their undefeated streak, while Gale Force Esports walks away with a 2-2 record. 500, it's not that bad.
You know what? Speaking in baseball terms, that's pretty good. The date and location for the offline finals have not been set, but keep an eye on rlcs.gg for more updates and tournament results.
I mean, considering
Batter up.
Rocket League is more like soccer, could also be a soccer thing,
Or is it more
500.
like football? I'm here to make Rukari's day.
Thank God it's my Friday.
Isn't everybody's
No, it's
Friday?
not. No, that's the horrible part. It's really not.
So
All right, your
sad.
next voting options are on screen.
Oh, here we go.
Heroes of the Storm is still sticking around. Injustice 2, which has been up there a while as well. Smash Brothers and League of
League of
Legends.
Legends,
And you know what cracks
maybe?
me up?
What's
Is
that?
I look here to read the options, and I keep seeing myself looking down like this, and I'm like, look at the camera.
God, look at the camera, brah. Brah?
Nobody wants to see your hair.
Hey, you got 12 seconds. Well, that's not true. 10 seconds now. Okay.
And you just have voice crack? All right, 5 more seconds to get those votes
Feels
in. Oh, let me do my
like
thing. Let me do it.
Super
I just want to see it
Smash.
change. All right, perfect.
Not weird.
Super Smash Bros. You want to jump in?
I'll jump. Let's see. Here we go.
'Cause these always
Smash
have
on
fun
into it.
names.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Lord help me. The #1 Super Smash Brothers charity event is back for its 4th year in a row. Smash the Record, held in Ontario, California, is a culmination of tournaments and speedrunning events all under one roof. Bryce would be proud. Their goal, to raise money for kids. Combined with the previous 3 years, Smash the Record has raised over $150,000 for St. Jude Research Hospital. And over 300 gamers showed up to win big, go fast, and have fun for a great cause.
The speedrunners ran their games back-to-back, 24 hours a day for over 72 hours. Goodness gracious. Playing games like Breath of the Wild, Castlevania, Mega Man, and Kingdom Hearts. The Smash players allowed donation goals to wreak havoc on their brackets with the For Fun rule set changes. In the winner's final of Melee singles bracket, we saw a shocking upset as Northern California's 10th ranked player, Spark, defeated pro player Plup in a 3-1 set. That's a fun one. Spark was allowed to play as his main character, Sheik, while due to donation incentives, Plup had to pick a random character for each game, including Ness, Pichu, and Danky Kang.
Danky Kang. Now, then in the grand final, Plop and Spark met once again, and even though Plup
Plup.
brought it to Game 5, Spark couldn't help but emerging victorious. Moving on to Smash 4, the spotlight was on Counter Logic Gaming, Source CLG's Void, and Panda Global's ESAM as they duked it out for 3 sets. Now, the first set was all fun and games as they accepted donation requests to turn on the Smash Ball, change game physics, and make both players play as Zelda for the grand final reset, ultimately failing in ESAM's favor. Now, grand final set 2 was serious business, though, as both players used their main characters. Came down to the last stock of Game 5 yet again. But Void was able to finish out the game in style, much like myself.
This event alone raised over $35,000 for St. Jude Play Live. If you want to help them cross the last $30,000 off of their $1 million goal, visit stjude.tiltify. That was Tiltify?
Tiltify?
Tiltify.com. Whack Play Live. I finally got one.
Slash.
Whack.
Well,
Whack.
it sounds like it's upcoming tournaments time, and we couldn't be more excited.
With your, hip hoppiness, you got to go. Crisscross, right? Wiggity, wiggity,
That's
whack.
the one. Here we go, tournament style. Smite fans, get ready. Week trace of the Smite Pro League continues this Saturday and Sunday with the teams like Dignitas, Luminosity, and EU United playing in matches starting at their regular time of 10 a.m. Pacific. Check out esports.smitegame.com for the full schedule and where to watch.
We had the opportunity to interview Alex Valle on the show last week, or actually a couple of weeks ago, right? And he runs SoCal Regionals 2017, a multi-game event featuring Street Fighter, Tekken 7, and others at the Anaheim Convention Center in California. This is a staple event of the FGC, so be sure to visit SoCalRegionals.com to learn more about the tournament.
Absolutely. It feels only right that I should say this next one. And last but certainly not least, Counter-Strike is here to be watched tomorrow afternoon starting at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern with Group C matches of the E-League Premier CSGO Major. E-League Premier CSGO. Excuse me, not quite the major yet. eLeague.com has the treasure trove of information you seek and will be here to help next week provide an update on the matches as well as just a delicious amount of commentary.
All right, well, we wouldn't be doing our jobs up here if we didn't plug the other show that's on Tuesdays.
So which...
and for as much grief as I give them,
that's true,
Ethan
yeah.
and Malik did a crazy good segment on Tips and Tricks.
Did they?
This past Tuesday that had them playing through, I don't remember what the game was. Long story short, they were playing here on the screen.
Yeah.
And Ethan was controlling one side of the character's body,
Shut
Malik the other.
up.
And it was kind of cool to watch them go through it. So kudos to you.
Manuel Samuel.
Yeah, Manuel Samuel. That was cool as could be to see.
That's the one with the, I know, this is a newer indie title, yeah?
Yeah, very new, very new.
I heard about this, not at
So,
PAX.
so
I wasn't there.
Tuesdays at 3 p.m., right?
Tuesdays, Trace PM on the next new channel, mixer.com/tips and tricks.
Oh, they've got their... Oh.
Well, in fairness, we also do.
Yeah, oh, that's right, that's right.
It's fine. I know things. But anyway, we'll be right here each and every Thursday at 3 p.m. If you want more hilarity, you want more ridiculous, or you just want more, feel free to come back each and every Thursday.
Please do.
Mixer.com/This Week in Esports, which of course you might already know because you're watching this. And if you're not, why aren't you?
That's
Are
a
you in
good
the
point. I like
Matrix?
how you asked hypothetical and theoretical folks who aren't here watching why
Telling
they're
you,
not.
I'm
That's
meta.
great. That's great.
That's
Can't
a
wait
thing.
to see the answers.
Also, head out to youtube.com/Mixer Channel 1 and follow us on Twitter @WatchMixer for more information and updates on the show to know what's happening in the wide world of esports.
Also, tune in to hashtag Esports Weekend on this same channel starting at 9 a.m. Pacific this Saturday, as we'll be rebroadcasting the HCS London tournament from Gfinity. We only show esports content on Mixer Channel 1 during the weekends, so I hope you come back to tune in and check out the shows. That's it. We
Malik
did it.
said you're the real MVP, Rukari.
But you're the star, Malik, so
And we're out.
we're out of here. See you next week, everybody.